So imagine you've been asked to look at people's mental alertness while on a particular drug. You run 100 participants on the SMAT, the Standardized Mental Alertness Test, and now you're faced with figuring out what all this data that you've collected means. A couple things you might want to know about these test scores are: how alert was the typical participant? Did everyone receive similar test scores, or were the scores really spread out? Were there a bunch of people who received really high alertness scores while at the same time others received really low scores? Just by eyeballing these test scores, it's really hard to see these patterns. There are just too many numbers. So, the first step to answering these questions and to begin to understand the data is to organize it in a way that reduces information overload and allows you to get a quick impression of what might be going on. We begin simply by counting. We count how many times each unique value occurs in the dataset. Then we place these counts into a table called the frequency distribution table. Frequency is just a hoity-toity way of saying count the numbers. By counting the number of unique occurrences of scores in our dataset of 100 SMAT scores, we will dramatically shrink the amount of information we need to look at to discover patterns in the data. So now, by looking at the numbers in our SMAT frequency distribution table, we can quickly see what the lowest scores were. Contrast that to the number of participants with the highest scores, while also seeing where the majority of the participants fall. But it even gets better. You don't have to look at tables of numbers. You can also take these same numbers and convert them into a graphical display with the unique values along the bottom of the chart and the number of times, the frequencies, they occur along the side. So check this out. At a glance, we see that this group of participants mainly had high scores, while this group was really spread out. And here's a group that had really high scores, while the others had very low scores, but no scores in the middle. And we were able to see all these patterns with a quick glance. That's the power of frequency distributions. And in this unit of the course, you'll be learning how to create different types of frequency distributions, as a table, as a chart, by hand, and with using Excel. And when we get to the Excel part, be sure to bring a laptop to class if you can, so you can see firsthand exactly how to do all this frequency distribution awesomeness on your very own computer.